Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers that you didn't know about. And I'm Dave Kosminski, and we are live here at the AT Cave, which is the annual technical conference and vendor expo at the AquaTurf in Southington. And this is going to be our first podcast of the day. Actually, this is episode 42, and with an old friend of mine that goes way back from the Aquarion days, Mr. Len DeJong. Hi, Len. How are you?
Good, Dave. Great to be here. Thanks very much for having me.
Oh, thank you for taking time out of your schedule. So anyway, as you know, we're trying to build a succession plan to start filling the pipeline of all of us guys that, you have retired.
Semi-retired.
Semi-retired.
Yeah.
And I'm coming up on that. So tell us how you got in the water industry.
So I'll start first with just a quick introduction. Again, as Dave mentioned, I'm Len DeJong. I'm a principal professional with the engineering firm Kleinfelder. Been working with them for about 3.5 years now, supporting the water teams in both Massachusetts, Connecticut, as well as those further up north in New Hampshire and Maine. Oh. Great group of folks. Proud to be working with them, and they're very focused also on, like you are, Dave. They're very focused on developing young professionals through internships and elsewhere. So we can talk a little bit more about that.
Sure,
later.
Absolutely.
So I'll back up now. Back when the dinosaurs roamed, I started my career back in actually 1976, and wonderfully so as an intern. Which is what part of what your young professional development is try to encourage individuals towards water internships. Right. Started with a large water utility in New Jersey. I was raised in New Jersey, and I went to Rutgers College of Engineering. And was very fortunate to walk into the Human Resources Department at one point in my junior year, and there was a posting for an internship for, again, a large New Jersey water utility, and went to work for them and enjoyed my summer with them. They seemed to like me, and so we continued right through senior year, and then was blessed after graduation for an offer to join their engineering division, and worked for them both in engineering and operations for seven or so years before I found my job in the New York Times. That doesn't happen too often anymore, but
okay.
I found my next job in the New York Times, which brought me to Bridgeport, Connecticut, as superintendent for the Bridgeport Hydraulic Company, which some of your listeners may remember that's the old name for what is now
BHC.
Aquarion. BHC is now the Aquarion Water Company, and had just a wonderful, wonderful career with Aquarion Water Company, 30 plus years, various levels of responsibility, worked with great teams, supply, operations, distribution, did some business development work over the years with Aquarion, just had a great opportunity. They were very generous in terms of allowing my time to be connected to associations like the one here today, the Connecticut section of the American Waterworks Association and the Connecticut Waterworks Association, and I was involved with other industry associations throughout New England, and also the Water for People organization.
Yes. You were instrumental in that for many years.
Well, it was a team. Thanks, Dave. It was a team effort. I actually was. I believe this is the case. I actually was the first instructor in the state for the what was then the new operator certification program. One of Bridgeport Hydraulic Company's facilities was where it was first taught, and enjoyed doing that and meeting a whole bunch of wonderful people along the way who are now certified operators and superintendents and directors in their own utilities. Nice. So coming back to a function like this, which is just a tremendous gathering here at the annual technical conference and vendor expo, it's just wonderful seeing old friends and old faces like you, my friend.
Absolutely.
And so I've had a wonderful career. I was able to serve on the boards of CTA, WWA, and CWWA.
Yes,
I was a national director, and then also back to Water for People, served as a director for the Water for People organization, and again got a chance to meet wonderful individuals along the way who have lasting friendships.
Sure.
So that's a little bit about me. Where to next on this?
That's great. Go rolling back the calendar just a little bit farther. Okay, when you're in your high school attempting and figuring out your career path. what was your invocations? Other than
Well, I'm a planner. Even back in high school, I realized I was a planner, and I was somewhat technically connected.
Okay.
So it seemed to graduate more towards a technical career of some sort,
Okay.
and a planning career. So I chose engineering,
Okay.
I have a BS, Bachelor of Science in Environmental and Civil Engineering
Okay.
from Rutgers College of Engineering.
Okay.
Actually going back this weekend for a Rutgers basketball game.
There you go.
To see some former friends at Rutgers.
Sure.
So I in high school I was, we're all not really sure, and no one should be surprised or concerned about what you're going to be doing
Yeah.
in your career when you're in high school.
Yeah.
I love the folks who say this is what I want to be and this is what I want to do. In my case, it was I've got a technical inkling, so let me go try out engineering.
Sure.
And it
Okay.
worked. Although a lot of the work I've done in my 40 some odd years is less engineering. Fortunately, I've had some great engineers to work with,
Right.
but gravitated more towards the operation management of
Yep.
water system, which is there's a significant engineering component of that
Absolutely
too, because
is.
of the planning and the operations and,
Yep.
and what have you. So that was I put my toe in the water, pun intended, to in engineering, and it turned out to be great.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, because so many times, when I go out to see high schools and our water and people class that I teach and so forth, students, they don't necessarily have a direction.
Right. Yep.
They're going, general studies, liberal arts, and so forth. And I think, what we're trying to do is at least that make them aware of the careers within this industry. As you know, the tent is very big. The umbrella is very large. I mean, we've got engineers, we've got accounts, we've got operators, we've got HR people. As you've been there and done that.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, so there are opportunities across all spectrums of academia.
Yeah.
Okay, that somehow can relate to the water.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is that it takes all different skill sets to engage in properly operating a water system.
Yes.
And so, to your point, accountants, customer service individuals, those things are not pure engineering related.
Sure.
But just as critical to the successful operation of a water system. So.
Yes, and speaking of one of those things, we have Romana Longo, who is our executive director that I just poked her head in.
Hi, bye, Marana.
And she's going to be on a little bit later here too, as far as that goes. And again, that's another component of it takes a village.
It takes a village. That's a great way of putting it. Yep.
It really does, and so forth. So, moving on and through your career, obviously with BHC and now to Aquarion, obviously now your post-retirement endeavors now, obviously, attracted with your engineering background. Tell us a little bit about where you are now.
So I'm again, as I started briefly, I'm helping where I can the firm Kleinfelder in developing opportunities, business opportunities, as well as do some project work with some specialties that I have acquired in my experiences in operating and helping with running water systems. So I'm enjoying the time that I'm spending with the Kleinfelder folks, who their expertise is they offer solutions to water issues, and I think in my entire career, other than perhaps with the Safe Drinking Water Act revisions in '86, this is a very focal point now for utilities. There are a lot of challenges out there with the emerging issues.
Yep.
You've got the big question marks associated with PFAS.
Yes.
You've got the in-play lead and copper rule.
Yeah.
In terms of lead, at least initially lead service line inventories, but there's a long duration event happening here relevant to the LCRR. Sure. It's got an October 2024 deadline relevant to inventories.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got just the day-to-day challenges that utilities face of running water systems. You've got we all are very familiar with the infrastructure matters, aging infrastructure,
and it's happening all over the country.
Yeah, and we've got some infusion of funds now, federal funds, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working strategically with the Kleinfelder folks, trying to reach out and offer solutions to utilities that might need us in terms of consulting engineering support.
Sure,
So.
sure. Well, that's great. Now, obviously, you're now a resident of New Hampshire.
I am the Lake Sunapee area of New Hampshire.
So
Yeah.
how did that work out? And your lovely wife, Mary Ellen, is.
We're doing. Thanks for asking, Dave. We're doing great. Mary Ellen is very active in the community, garden club, golfing, other volunteer and nonprofit work. We've got family in the area, which is one of the reasons we found ourselves up in the central part of New Hampshire. You have to be a little tolerant of the weather.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
It's a little chilly up there, but and I'm doing great. I have the Kleinfelder responsibilities and met a whole bunch of neat folks associated with Kleinfelder. I'm a volunteer commissioner on our local water and wastewater utility.
There you go.
And working with a board of 3 and then a very dedicated staff and it's a system that was built 50 years ago, and unfortunately it wasn't built the way it should have been built. So not only is it 50 years old, but it's 50 years old and really never got a good start to begin with.
Right.
So it's showing its age. It's got high leak detection, high leak volumes where we
Unaccounted water.
where we have to do leak detection and just but we have a first time ever completed asset management plans, capital improvement plan,
Nice.
50-year replacement. We're 50 years old. We've now got a 50-year replacement of the system in the
There you
works.
go.
We're reaching out for grant funding. New Hampshire has similar grant opportunities as Connecticut does. So.
Yes.
And
Plus, you still get to come down to Connecticut.
I was just going to go there. It's nice to be able to. It was interrupted. Our lives were all interrupted with COVID.
Absolutely.
Very sadly and very tragically for many. But it gives me the opportunity now that we can do this type of stuff again.
Absolutely.
It gives me the opportunity to come down and spend some time with old dear friends and I really enjoy that. So
That's great. That's great. So on a personal, what do you like to do for hobbies? I know Mary Ellen's into gardening and golf.
While we live on a golf course, I do very little golfing.
Okay.
I'm a fisher person.
Nice.
So yeah. I like to say golfing is for people who can't fish.
Okay.
So,
Well, hey,
no, that's going to really bother a lot of my dear friends here who golf a lot.
We have a few of them here. My God.
So yeah, I thanks for asking. I do enjoy fishing. We live in a community with a smaller lake and do some kayak fishing and enjoy it there. Nice. And then I also have a larger boat and get out on the Connecticut. We're not far from Vermont, so we get out on the Connecticut River.
There you go.
Several lakes in our area, including I mentioned we're in the Lake Sunapee area, so we've got Big Lake Sunapee, Little Lake Sunapee. So.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's good. Hiking. You can't live in New Hampshire and not want to hike.
There you go.
So
got plenty of area up there.
So and shoveling snow.
Oh well, we got a chance to do that down here this week. So
yeah, you did. Yeah.
But we've been considerably lucky, with the mild winter that we have and so forth. So, give me your shtick on climate change.
Ooh, major challenge.
Yes.
Can't deny it.
Nope.
Surprised that folks have for as long as they have. Some folks.
Yeah.
And it's going to impact that's a broad question, but specific to, us water types, major issues associated with changes in weather patterns, more droughts, more floods, for those communities that run water systems that are also shore-based communities, significant flooding associated with that. Lots of support out there. A lot of engineering firms are doing some great work with resiliency and adapting to climate change. So, and I'm sure that's on a lot of your listeners' radar screens in terms of what do we need to do. There's also a fair amount of now federal money out there associated with climate adaptation. So
well, and again, kind of turning it back to the careers things. There's obviously going to be careers that are basically dealing with climate change.
That's absolutely correct. Yep.
So anyway, So that'd be great. Well, Len, thank you so much for taking time.
Before we go,
Yes.
I just want to say thank you and congratulate you. This is not just the podcast, but everything you've done in your career,
Well.
which famous, fantastic career relevant to your responsibilities with the water profession, as well as your outreach to the youth and to youth development, trying to fill some fairly significant existing and future gaps.
Yes.
I mean, we owe you a debt of gratitude associated with everything that you've done, the support you've gotten from the town of Portland.
Yes. Yes.
So I just want to say, bravo to you.
Thank you so
being
much.
involved,
Like you say, it takes a village, and working with great people like you for many years. I've been in the industry. I'm looking at retiring in next January when I tick over 50 years at the town of Portland. So
nice,
who
50
would have
years.
who would have thought I'd
A golden retirement.
yeah, something like that to go from there. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is our episode with the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. And Mr. Len DeJong, okay, now of Kleinfelder, okay, and a long-time member of the Connecticut section, CWWA, and just a big advocate for the water industry. Len, thank you so much, and give my best to Mary Ellen.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Okay.